Greetings, my name is Rudimentary Rob. Welcome back to my Valheim series. Today we do the thing that will officially bring our Iron Age activities to a close. Today we are going to be doing the Swamp Boss, otherwise known as Bone Mass. Now, we've known about Bone Mass's spawn location for quite some time. We actually got supremely lucky very early in the piece because this particular Bone Mass spawner was on the Elder Island and we uncovered it quite quickly. Now, a couple of quick things to be aware of before you start with your Bone Mass. If you get the spawner, or the altar, or whatever you would like to call it, in an area like this one where there's a lot of water and some of it is just puddles which won't mess with you, but quite a lot of this is deep enough that it will slow you down and cause you problems if you're trying to maneuver around. And trust me, this is a fight there's going to be more than a little bit of maneuvering, but we'll get into that one a bit later. So first thing, you want to get this set up so that you're not going to get stuck somewhere, because there's a bit going on with the fight, and if you have to worry about terrain as well, then that's really one too many things you should be having to worry about. So you just get yourself a hoe and you go around, and for the most part just walking around and leveling it out is usually enough. If it isn't, you might need to throw a bench down, grab some stone, and just raise the terrain a little bit. But honestly, if it's at the surface of the water or just above the surface of the water, and it's it's flat, that is good enough for what we're trying to do here. Now, a couple of other things to be aware of. Now, Bone Mass, as I've mentioned in previous episodes, requires those bones that you get from the crypts. And for the start of this, and I think I cut most of it out, but for the start of this, in my head I was thinking it was only 5 bones. But I can now absolutely confirm that you need 10 bones to summon Bone Mass. So make a mental note of that to make sure that when it comes time, you don't do like runs back to the base to have to pick up the bones you forgot. Because trust me, I did do that a bit, and that's where you're going to see a few little cuts here and there. But now we have reached the point where we are now summoning Bone Mass. We've got our potions available. We have sucked down our first poison resistance potion, and you can see Bone Mass coming up out of the ground there. Now, like the Elder, Bone Mass does have quite a bit of health, so this is not a 5-second fight. Even in the gear I have, it's a fight you really want to take your time with. Now, the first attack that Bone Mass does is that sort of hurling something at the ground, and it summons a poison cloud. The next thing he does is these swipes, and the swipes aren't too bad. And then the third thing he does, he throws out... Yeah, he's just throwing up. I'd forgotten the maneuver he does. He throws up to create the poison cloud, and that renews the poison on you, so you need to be a bit careful about that one. The other thing he does, which I was about to say earlier, is this. He will throw out a little glob of things, and out of that glob will come a couple of blobs and some skeletons. Now, you're not going to want to completely ignore them because they'll wear you down, particularly if you get a bit unlucky and the skeletons he summons are archer skeletons. They can plink away at you all day. So you do want to knock them down, but because they're skeletons, they go down really quick. Now, in between dealing with those glob attacks and dodging the poison clouds, really all you got to do is just keep blocking his attacks. Try and do as much damage as you can. As you can see, the iron mace I'm using is doing yellow damage, so he is actually weak to blunt weapons. So any kind of club is going to do pretty well. Our door knocker comes in very handy for dealing with that group because they're all still standing together. And then we get our shield back out again, our mace back out again, and we're straight back into wailing on bone mass. And that's, honestly, that's just the rinse and repeat that you do. You run out when he starts throwing up. You know, well, when you get clear, you can just, you know, plink a couple of arrows at him. You know, when he throws his little glob, you just destroy them as soon as you can. And the rest of the time, you just wail on him with your mace. And it is a pretty straightforward fight, this one. So I'm going to stop yammering away in the background, and I'm going to let you judge for yourself. And boom, headshot, ball shot, whatever you want to call that last swing. Bone mass is down. Now, he has a couple of drops. Obviously, he drops his trophy, which is what we want to hang back at the altar. And the other very useful thing, which we're going to very much use in the future, is the little silver thing. It's a detector, basically. Hugan tells you what you need to know about that one. It says you use it to locate silver veins, but you can also find buried treasure with it. So you do get some useful stuff out of bone mass. But now we've killed him, we're going to go back to base, head out to the starting area, and then hang his trophy. And because we've been sort of in the area for a while, we've had quite a lot of surtlings, you know, dying at our surtling farm. So we're just going to stop by there and pick up some charcoal and all the other good stuff that they love to drop for us. And looking at this, there is a bucket load of surtling for us. And I can tell you, we are not going to say no to those at the moment. Alright, now we've dispatched the one local that was trying to spy on our activities. We can see there's our Ike there with the buff. We've got Elder, you know, pretty handy if you want to chop a lot of trees, but otherwise useless. And now we have Bone Mass. Bone Mass, this buff, I cannot overstate how important this buff is in the coming areas. To be so resistant to physical attacks during its active time, it quite literally is a lifesaver. But we've now done our ceremonial hanging of the trophy. We've switched our elected power over to the Bone Mass one in preparation for our new activities. And we're now heading back to base. It's a very short episode this time. The way the footage worked out, it was just going to be a lot neater and a lot less rushed if I just left this Bone Mass kill in its own video. Consequently, you know, I've been able to keep more of it in. In fact, I was able to keep the entire boss fight in, and I didn't need to speed any of it up. So hopefully that was of help to some, or all indeed. We're back at base now. The eagle-eyed viewers may see some glowies out there where my my fishing wharf used to be. Yeah, a couple of trolls made short work of that. Rest assured, I took appropriate revenge, but I haven't got around to reassembling my fishing wharf just yet. We'll save that one for a future episode. In the meantime, you can see in between the previous episode and this episode, I have actually smelted all of the available iron and the one stack of tin. So now that's where we're at with our tin, copper and bronze. And oh, look at all of that juicy iron that we've got. Now, leave a comment down below. I want you to give me an estimate on how long you think that much iron is going to last. Like, tell me, you know, what boss or what item you think I'm going to end up using the last of that iron on. Or, conversely, if you think I've just been completely overboard and you think there's no way I'm going to use that much iron, leave me a comment down below as well. As we reach the conclusion of this episode and I do a bit of gear shuffling, I want to thank all of you for watching. Make sure you give me a thumbs up if you've enjoyed the episode, and don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. My name is Rudimentary Rob. Have a wonderful day.